What's up, Notary Family? Welcome back to my channel. Shanice here of SM the Mobile Notary, coming at y'all with another video. Now, I know I always say thank you at the start of my videos, but thank you for reassuring me that this content that I'm putting out is helpful. That was my goal, to be a resource and to be helpful to newer notaries. A lot of you have been commenting in the comment section. I've also been DMing me on Instagram. So thanks for engaging and letting me know that I am doing the right things. Now, recently I've been getting a ton of inquiries asking about what training program should I take? What training program did you, Shanice, what did you take? What do you recommend? Now, I can and can't answer that question. Now, in my previous videos, I've mentioned I've taken Bill Soroka's Sign and Thrive course. And I did. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed the course. And I'll be making a review, like a part 2 to this video just about Bill Soroka's The Notary Coach Sign and Thrive course. I will be doing that. However, I have not taken other training programs, so I cannot compare it to any other systems or courses out there. And what's also important to consider is what may work for me may not work for someone else. And there are just too many training systems out there to compare and contrast and tell you what will work for you. However, there are some factors that you should consider before choosing any training program, and I'm going to go into those factors today. So be sure to stay tuned. Number one, affordability. Pricing. You want to think about pricing, of course, as you are selecting a training program. Now, this is a deterrent or an encourager to a lot of people when taking a training program. They look at the price tag. Oh, it's not that expensive. I'll go for it. Now, I can say this. There are different quality levels of training programs out there. I'm not saying that the most expensive ones are the better ones. I'm not saying the cheap ones aren't worth it either. What I'm saying is you need to recognize or identify a price point that you're comfortable with, and then do your due diligence around there to see if this is sort of like around the ballpark, right? Like, you don't want to do a training program that's $2,000 because there aren't many training programs, I can't think of any, that are going to be that expensive. So just do some market research to see what the prices are. And if it's around that ballpark where you feel comfortable with that investment, go for it. If now is not the right time for you and you need to cut costs somewhere, I don't recommend it be on your training program, but maybe you just wait to save a little bit more and take advantage of some free resources in the meantime before you jump into a training program. That is what I can recommend. Now, I took Bill Soroka's, as I mentioned before, Bill Soroka's Sign and Thrive course, right? That course is $33 a month. Now, if you do that times 12, it comes out to about $400 a month. That's typically around what some of the training programs are going for. I've seen some for a lot less. I've seen some for a lot more. But for me, that price point felt comfortable, and the layout of the program made me feel comfortable that I was going to get the bang for my buck. This is an investment. This is one of the many important investments to becoming a loan signing agent and a notary, period. So you really want to make sure that you are putting in your best investment with the hopes that you're going to get something back out. Again, just because it's more expensive does not mean it's better, and just because it's a little bit cheaper does not mean you will not have access to a great training program. So my recommendation is to do your research, find what the median is, and then see what your pockets agree with. On to number 2. The layout of the program. Now, this is really important because there are going to be a lot of training programs or systems out there that feel money motivated. And it's a training program. It's a product essentially at the end of the day. If you are looking at the program and you feel that the person is only trying to get money from you and you don't feel like it's going to be a good investment, go with your gut. That's okay. Look at how the product is marketed. A training program is a product. Someone is selling you something. It's an educational resource, but it's still a product at the end of the day. If you see it everywhere and the reviews are like, I feel like this person only wanted my money, or I feel like this training system was not the best return on my investment, pay attention to those things. I'm not saying decide what training program you'll take solely based off of reviews, but there is some truth to what multiple people are saying about training programs. So you just want to kind of think about those things as you're deciding on what training program you want to choose. If it feels like it's being pushed on you, if you don't feel like the price tag is matching what the content is, validate yourself in that moment and just look for a different training program. There are different options out there. There are a ton of great options out there. So don't feel like you have to take one training program or else you won't be a successful loan signing agent or notary. That is not the case. But pay attention to your gut as you're selecting what training program is best for you. Number 3. Now this is like a part 2 of the layout, but assess what your goals are, right? Like if you've been a notary for some time, you may not want to take a training program that's going to teach you how to complete an acknowledgement or a jurat. That's something you already know how to do. You want to assess what the layout of the program is. What are they promising you? Are they promising you that you'll have a better understanding of loan documents? Are they promising you that you will know how to go escrow direct? Are they going to help you with marketing? I mean, think about all your current goals and see how that training program aligns with that. A lot of people have the assumption that all these training programs do the same thing, and that's not true. There are some training programs that are just going to be very document heavy, and they're going to teach you how to explain different documents as a loan signing agent. And that's okay if that's what your goal is to do. There are going to be some documents that are some documents. There are going to be some programs that are focused on the marketing aspect of your business and how to grow your business. If that's what your goal is, then you should take that training program. So again, just reassess what your current position is and think about where you want to be in the next couple of months and if that training program is going to be that thing that gives you the extra boost. You don't want to spend money and half the program is teaching you how to do things that you already know how to do. So again, do your research, check out the training program and its thoroughness. Look at what they have reviewed, look at what's published, and see if that aligns with your goals. Number 4. Accessibility. Now this one is a big one, and maybe I'm just spoiled from Bill Soroka's course, but you want to be able to feel like you can access the creator of your training program. If you have questions, you want to feel like you can reach that person, whether it's through email, whether it's through social media. You want to feel connected to your training program. If something comes up and you have a question, are you going to be able to reach someone? That's really important. Just like anything else, you want to feel connected to it. You want to feel like, okay, I'm a part of something. I'm learning something. I'm getting something out. We all have questions here and there, but the accessibility to the creator of your program is going to be really important, and it's something to consider as you're thinking of which training program to choose. I love what Bill Soroka did when I first joined the Sign and Thrive course. He sent me a personalized video, and it was maybe like a 4-minute video, if that. But I knew it was a video for me because he said my name. He said where I was from, that he was excited, that I wanted to be a part of the community. I listed out some goals that he read beforehand and read those things in the video. So it just goes to show you that Bill took an extra, 5 minutes out of his day. He was actually like in the mountains on vacation and welcomed me to my training program. I felt that was really awesome and that he was invested into developing skills into newer notaries and loan signing agents. I'm not saying your training program needs to go that far, but that personal touch made me feel like, okay, I made the right decision, and I was going to learn a lot in the training program. So that's something to consider, accessibility of the creator of your training program. This is also a good segue into the 5th thing that I'm going to mention, which is the network. Now, most programs offer a private network, and whether it's a private Facebook group, whether it is being a part of like office hours and Zoom calls and all those good things, you want to be sure that you are going to be able to network. This industry is all about knowing who you know. And you want to feel like you can ask questions, not just to the creator of your program, but maybe you want to ask questions to specifically part-time notaries because you're a part-time notary. Do those people exist in your network? Do you have access to those people? Maybe you want to ask a question to a loan signing agent in your specific state. Will you have access to people who live close to you? So that's really important as you are thinking about a training program is the network, right? Half of what we do is networking and talking to people and bouncing creative ideas off of each other. This industry is so much more than just reading a document, giving a brief outline of it, sealing, putting the date, initialing, and keeping it moving. If you really want longevity in this industry, you need to network and talk to people. So having that access that you're paying for takes the legwork out to do that. You don't have to find someone, or you don't have to track someone down. When you're a part of those larger networks, or those Facebook communities, or those Instagram communities, or those weekly Zoom calls, whatever it is, it makes it that much easier to get connected to people. Number 6 is practicality. So this one is important for me because I like to think I'm a practical person. But in this industry, you will find that some things never change, right? Like how you seal a document will never change. How you explain a closing disclosure may or may not ever change. But there are a lot of situational things that happen as a notary. And there are things that textbooks just can't teach you. And that's why I try to make a lot of videos, because I want people to know about all those day-to-day things that you can't learn about in your state's notary primer or in most training systems. You want to know, like, are you going to keep it real with me? Are you going to tell me what can happen if I'm in a signing and it's a general notary work appointment and someone's signing a power of attorney but they're feeling pressured? How do you identify that that person is feeling pressured? What language do you use? How do you respond? How do you react? All those things are really important, and some training programs don't go into the day-to-day practices of what being a loan signing agent or being a notary means, and that's really important. A lot of those things come from experience. So you want to be surrounded by people who are experienced and have been there before and can prepare you for those real world situations. Anyone can give you documents and provide you with the script of how to explain a closing disclosure or how to complete a Patriot Act form. Anyone can do those things, but how can someone really prepare you holistically to feel confident to go into signings and to be mindful of situations that can happen depending on what kind of document is in front of you? That is important. So think about that as you are choosing your training program. What is included? Is it just documents? Are you guys or ladies just going to help me sign and seal? Or am I going to get the day-to-day nuts and bolts of what I need to be the best notary or loan signing agent that I can be? Okay, last but certainly not least. Now, I don't want to sound shallow when I say this, but it is important to understand and know the success of the creator of your training program. You want to feel like you know that person. What is their resume? How long have they been a notary or a loan signing agent? How many signings have they done? Are they going escrow direct? Have they gone escrow direct? Do they have relationships with people? This is really important because that means your training program creator is an avid researcher and understands the industry. Now, as you all know, the market it's a seller's market right now. Like, hands down, folks are refinancing every single day. People are paying over what the asking price is because there's just not a lot of properties on the market. That means when you do a purchase for either a title company, those may be far few in between than doing refinances. You may have 12 refinances in 2 weeks and may have 2 purchases. Me personally, I've maybe had 6 purchases in the past month and a half. But I was prepared to do that because I am on communications and emails and a part of those Zoom calls where Bill Soroka is talking about industry trends and what we can expect for the next couple of months and how those things may or may not change. That is important. You want to know that your training creator is connected with title companies, real estate agents, and realtors, etc., who know what's happening in the industry so we can prepare accordingly. So that means if I'm going to be doing a bunch of refis for the next couple of weeks, then maybe my goal is to do a refinance in 35 minutes. I'm going to practice that in my spare time because I know I may not be getting a bunch of reverse mortgages or purchases. And I'm not saying that you can't learn from newer notaries, but the likelihood of that notary or that loan signing agent understanding the industry, having made relationships, having made mistakes and failed and had to recover, the whole process, right? The likelihood of a notary going through that entire process in a week or a month's time is really unlikely. So it's really important that you assess and understand and you feel comfortable with knowing, okay, that the person who created this training program, they know their stuff and they have people that they can connect me to. And I feel confident that it all goes back to, I feel confident that I'm going to get a good return on my investment. So I don't mean to sound shallow. I have 300 followers on my YouTube. I am no one famous or important. But my goal is not to make a training program. My goal is to help people. My goal is to make videos that talk about practical things. What's the MO of the person who created your training program? What is their goal? Feel free to ask yourself those questions as you are deciding on if you trust this person essentially to enhance your notary skills and enhance, what it's like being a loan signing agent and how you can make a lot of money by doing it. I say all that to say that training programs are training programs. They're just that. You have to train at this. If you are not comfortable or committed with putting at least an hour a day or 30 minutes a day toward your training program, then you may not get the best results from your program. You may feel like it's not doing its job when you really aren't the one putting in the time and effort and energy. Your training program will only go as far as you allow it. If you immerse yourself into it, great. You'll probably get a good experience. If you immerse yourself into it and then you realize this was not what you were anticipating, then at least you know what to look for in the next training program that you choose. So again, all these training programs have very different qualities. They all cost different. They're going to be different, but you need to bring the same energy to each training program that you approach because you are the one that's going to be in those signings. You're going to be the ones in those law offices next to lawyers and next to clients who are super excited to have bought their first home, and you want to give them a really good experience. So training programs are important, but they're only as important as you make them. I do hope that this was helpful to you. If you have questions or comments, feel free to talk below to see what other factors that you guys were thinking about as you chose your training program, or if there are any factors that I did not mention as you are thinking about selecting a training program. I'll be doing a part 2 to this video and going into more detail about my experience with Bill Soroka Sign and Thrive course. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, SM, the Mobile Notary, out.